Ciao Samu, ciao a tutti ragazzi, buonasera a tutti e ciao. Oggi siamo qui a commentare il Summer Games Fest su Twitch, dove vedremo presentato Frostpunk e altri titoli, ma principalmente Frostpunk 2077 da quello che so. Ciao Samu, ben arrivato. E oggi ci sono io, butta fuori, a commentare. Bella a tutti ragazzi, ecco qua, Cyberpunk dalle 9 di pomeriggio qui dice, però in realtà è tra 3 minuti. E qui ci sono i titoli appunto, c'è anche Borderlands 3. Come va Samu, tutto bene? Hai fatto molte partite prima? Allora ragazzi, che cosa vi aspettate da questo gioco? Io ho visto prima, mi sono informato, perché non l'ho mai giocato purtroppo, e ho visto che però è molto interessante. Si tratta soprattutto di un gioco di strategia che si basa sulla sopravvivenza in un inverno, in un'era glaciale in stile 1800, dove la tecnologia di allora era tutta basata sul carbone. E l'obiettivo è sopravvivere, gestendo questa città. Sì, dai un paio. Ah, bene, molto bene. Niente ragazzi, adesso mancano 2 minuti e 34 secondi, anzi meno. E intanto vediamo cosa ci riserva questo meraviglioso Summer Game Fest. Dai, l'attesa tra poco è quasi finita. Anche se non capisco onestamente questo menu. C'è scritto 9 del mattino, però in realtà adesso stanno facendo... Tra poco lo presentano, Cyberpunk. Ma vedremo tutto tra poco. Bella lì, comunque. Meno di 2 minuti, dai. Tanto attendiamo con questa bella musichetta. È andata bene oggi la vostra giornata, ragazzi? Per me sì, tutto bene, grazie. Vi rispondo già in anticipo. Chissà chi dirà che a fine live che la cosa più bella della live è stata la musichetta di attesa. Era una giornata normale. Ciao Sapphire, bella lì, come va? Tutto bene? Tra poco l'attesa è finita. Ah, quasi quasi ragazzi mi metto sul Discord di Safari, nella stanza live. Così se c'è qualcuno di Safari che vuole entrare a commentare con me. Ecco, inizia.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Twitch Gaming pre-show.
Ciao Nico.
For Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire. My name is Jesse Cox. I am your host for today. Alana, somewhere out in the ether. We wish her well. I know. This is a disappointment from Jesse and Alana.
Grazie risate.
No, we're having some crazy internet troubles here on the West Coast, and she will be with us shortly when we come back from the wire. So, hang tight. Alana, we know you're out there. We miss you. Okay, hey!
Grazie Sapphire.
Thank you for joining us. Today is going to be amazing. I am really excited for this. Hopefully all of you are as well. In less than 10 minutes, we are finally going to get to see the Night City Wire CD Projekt has been hyping this thing up for way too long. We're going to get to see a brand new look into Cyberpunk. We're going to get a new trailer, new gameplay footage. After that, when we see all that stuff, when we come back, we right here, hopefully, fingers crossed, Alana and I will
Ciao,
be
Dave
chatting
Graff.
with Philip Weber, senior quest designer from CD Projekt. We will
non me la cavo bene con
share
l'inglese,
insights,
ragazzi.
and
Mi
that is where
spiace.
you come in. Because right now, we would love for you to ask questions in Twitch chat, right? Share comments, use Twitch polls. Whatever you want to do to get your thoughts to us, we would love to see them. And then Philip will try his hardest to answer them. Whatever that means. Hopefully you're ready for this. Hopefully you're excited. This is going to be a really incredible day.
Excited e incredible, l'ho capito, ragazzi.
What year? Who knows? But whatever year, it's going to be the biggest one of that. If you have no clue what Cyberpunk is, and you have never seen Cyberpunk 2077 before, this is going to be a really great refresher on the world and what's going on. But like, let's set it up a little bit. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open world action, adventure, RPG, FPS, sci-fi, whatever acronym you love, it is.
Sì, esatto.
Place in Night City, which is this megaopolis obsessed with money and power and glamour and, of course, body modification. You play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind supposed key to immortality. This is all the stuff we know so far. This isn't, of course, a key to immortality. That's some sort of monkey paw scenario where that's gonna... We all know what that's gonna lead to. You can customize your character, your skill set, your play style, everything you want as you explore this vast, massive city where the choices you make affect it and the world around you.
Oh.
It is sort of a conflict resolution simulator, I think is the best way to describe it. I'm trying to think of like a good way to describe Cyberpunk. You are choosing how to resolve conflicts using your ability to talk, hack, sneak, or shoot up the place.
Carino.
It's how I would best describe the game.
Sì, carino, devo dire.
The character creation. I'm trying to look at Twitch chat and like get some of the things you guys want to hear. The character creation is a huge part of the game as well. Everything we've seen so far, and the way you can create your version of V, you won't look like anyone else's V. Your V will be different from everyone else's, not just in the way they look, but in how they play and the way you take them through the story. Your backstory as well is another great example of what's different about your V, right? You can start as either a nomad, which is sort of...
Wow, ragazzi, sembra carino come gioco,
right?
promette bene.
You don't have a home, you go where the winds take you, or a street kid, and you're sort of making your way to the top, or you can play as a corpo, which is
una specie di GTA del futuro, insomma.
And you're, living life pretty large. And those are excellent ways to experience the world of Cyberpunk, I'm sure. It's from many different angles, right? Each path unlocks new dialogue options, changes story beats, alters how missions play. Everything we've seen from previous demos at E3.
Guardate che personaggi, ragazzi.
Kind of delves deep into all of this. And,
potete mettere, selezionare gli attributi.
Ci
sono le skills.
Obviously, this is whatever version of the game this is, so I expect some of it to change when it comes to...
Mi ricorda Fallout, quello delle skills.
Again, hey everyone, welcome, I'm Jesse Cox. Alana is having internet troubles. We on the West Coast are... Something's happening here, I don't know, but a lot of people are having internet woes, so it's not the future yet. Night City does not exist on the West Coast here yet. So we
mega pompati.
She will be back. Trust me, she will be here.
Guardate come manipola la torretta.
All right.
Ti ha fottuto l'arma.
Oh yeah. Keanu Reeves is in this game. Keanu Reeves is in the game as Johnny Silverhand. if you don't know any Cyberpunk lore, if you don't have any clue what the Cyberpunk story is, Johnny Silverhand is a former soldier who kind of like was done fighting in corrupt wars, and he started a mission to like stoke the fires of rebellion, and he formed a band called Samurai that were they're kind of like Rage Against the Machine. Let's be real.
Ma
if you don't know who Rage Against the Machine
John Wick.
is, sorry, Zoomers. Ask other people in chat. Anyway, he decides to take on and fight corporations. And long story short,
ragazzi, sembra molto carino.
Down and he goes missing. And he's been missing for a long time. And people have been wondering,
wow,
where is
le macchine
Johnny?
anche.
And many people think he's still alive. Many people think that he is sort of a myth. Who knows? But I have a feeling we will see him very, very soon. This isn't going to be a reinterpretation of him. This isn't a remake. This is a continuation of Johnny Silverhand's story from the 1998 tabletop game. So this is going to be just like if you were to play Witcher. You could play Witcher 3 and it would be like a continuation
John
of
Wick.
the stories that we have seen so far in the Witcher franchise. A lot of questions people have. They're asking, I'm seeing things like, will there be multiplayer? We already know this.
Ecco, parla del multiplayer.
Multiplayer, they said, is coming, not right away. We've already, we know that already. We also know that
ma quella è la vasca del ghiaccio.
They said in an interview that it was going to be equivalent, if not more,
Johnny.
than Witcher 3. So we know that'll be for sure. No microtransactions because CD Projekt don't play that way. They have never and will never.
Che succede alle mani? Che sta succedendo alle mani?
A cool sword or a gun. That is not how they do it. There's gonna be a photo mode, I think they said, and I know there's gonna be multiple endings. That's how they always do that. Trying to think if there's anything else important to get to you.
Ma è tutto strano qua.
If you're in chat right now, make sure you're aware that we are going to immediately after the Night City Wire have a exclusive discussion with senior designer Philip Weber from CD Projekt. He's going to talk with us, answer some of your questions, and if you are co-streaming right now, or if you are here, you will get access to an exclusive Johnny Silverhand emote soon.
C'è la corsa in moto, prendere le torrette, combattere,
right now, but soon.
mosse di karate. Che cosa volete di più, ragazzi?
60 seconds away. I'm super excited for this. We are going to see for the first time in a while some new Cyberpunk
ok, Nico,
footage.
a dopo.
I don't really know what else to say here. I'm thrilled I get to be here with you. I'm going to be in chat watching. This is kind of what all of us big Cyberpunk nerds have been waiting for. And as a fan of CD Projekt, this is going to be an incredibly awesome time. So enough of me. We are less than 30 seconds. I will see you all after the event. Hopefully Alana will be here with me and we can get to it. I can see the hype in chat. People are ready. Where's Johnny? Here's Johnny. Maybe. Fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll find out. I have no idea what's about to happen. This is going to be amazing. We're 10 seconds away. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys afterwards. Welcome to Night City.
Ecco, ragazzi, allora, impressioni? Tanta roba. Sembrava proprio un GTA. Molto bello, futuristico. Una cosa che forse manca. Night City Wire. Vediamo di che si tratta.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration, We'll be taking a look at some Braindance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode to go and check out exactly what
c'è un po' di lag, ragazzi.
Let's get started. It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that our lead quest designer Pavel Sasko will be joining us because I've got a feeling you're gonna have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Ah, ecco, c'è un trailer.
Love this town.
Ma c'è un po' di lag, vedo.
Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on. City like any other, just bigger. Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here. The Major Leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them. But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything. Unless you catch a bullet. Even then, you go out with a bang, right? You know, you can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the game?
Ecco, ragazzi.
You meant to come out in one piece?
Questa deve essere la modalità storia.
How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Job to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough. He's lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City. Fucking Major Leagues. Happy now, Jackie? Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Eccolo qua, Cyberpunk 2077. A quanto pare, ragazzi, questo era il trailer della story mode.
And you, who are you? Fuck.
Ragazzi, novembre 19. Tenete conto di questa data.
Footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So, Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just saw?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So, that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands. As a player, you are meeting Jackie.
Sì, esatto, Sapphire.
They together are trying.
Mi spiace per queste laggate, ma purtroppo non so che cosa sta avendo adesso.
Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push
sì,
themselves
penso
to
di
the
sì.
limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you will have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads.
Carini paesaggi, devo dire, fuori dalle città.
Space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020.
Secondo me è molto possibile,
by our,
Nico.
Senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist to Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripperdoc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripperdocs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So, Ripperdocs in our game,
esatto.
They are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing
fa le operazioni
limbs,
proprio.
To the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And,
Guardate ragazzi,
as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Ripperdocs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies.
Wow, vi trasformano in un cyborg
your
proprio.
Body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches. And that's not all.
Sentito? Hanno detto PlayStation 4 e PlayStation 5 da quello che ho capito. E Xbox.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while. We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now. Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022,
PS4 e PS5.
But for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
E ci sarà anche la serie TV su Netflix, ragazzi.
My name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make
È tanta roba, ragazzi.
When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new.
Non male,
new
davvero.
Characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole. Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the Dream Team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方。今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の
Ciao Dark.
一ファンしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今井氏、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
Ragazzi, se non avete Netflix è il momento buono per prenderlo a quanto pare, o per rinnovarlo.
Now it's time to show you some gameplay of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
Ecco ragazzi, pronti all'azione.
Down, everybody, on the ground. What I see
Una rapina.
Money, now, or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God. Well, yeah, hey, now, before I blow your fucking head off.
È alla GTA. Aia.
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers.
Sì, molto infatti.
You're alive and well.
That was too much. Could feel the guy's pain, his stress, his hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything set up? Let's switch over to editing mode.
I'll sever the link to the BD Roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own.
Ah, qui li stavano tenendo d'occhio.
So, analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel the need. Then you use the editor console to unpause. Try it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind, roll it back to the top. All good, neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't be creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it. Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD Roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash.
È possibile, Samu. Io pensavo che era una telecamera di sorveglianza o qualcuno che li stava spiando invece. Già, Nico. Magari una qualche key. Magari se ci danno una key.
This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several
Allora Samu, io vediamo, dipende dal prezzo, comunque penso di sì, mi interessa come gioco. Però se esce su PC, chiaramente.
So, any thoughts?
Eccolo.
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
Wanna see you kissing the flooring? Money! Meth!
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw. Stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
E ora vediamo cosa succede, ragazzi, dopo che ha rapinato tutto.
Ev's got Kuroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming.
Ecco.
But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam.
Vediamo un po'.
Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
Ah, adesso sta tornando indietro ai suoi ricordi, infatti sta cercando di capire chi è stato a colpirlo.
His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market.
Sì, esatto, Samu, parlano molto... Parlano tanto, sì.
Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
Chi sarà stato a spararlo?
Impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's two sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe. And then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of Braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording back
Siamo
and
in
forth,
due.
trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you
Qua ci vorrebbe
to,
Luna Pop
different
che sa bene
mysteries, and you
l'inglese.
will uncover them actually using that braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma,
Sapphire.
religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but, you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things. But those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out, what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why?
Ucciso il
And you can
sceriffo,
see all of
ragazzi.
those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world.
E quello li butta
And
fuori.
we come up with that for all
Cioè
of our
io.
characters. Now you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game, because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really
no,
have
per
grown so
niente.
much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience to put them into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making
puoi
sure that
truccare le
everything
macchine anche.
is rewarding,
Cioè,
is
potete
interesting,
truccare le
it's
macchine,
talking
ragazzi.
About characters, as Patrick said, it's talking about worlds, it's talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I wrote
Suo
part of
diario,
this notebook,
ragazzi.
actually, when we were really starting Cyberpunk, at the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along
È
the
tutta la
lines
storia
of
di
we're
Cyberpunk
starting with a
quella.
prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting
Che
things that we've
pazienza,
been
ragazzi.
working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like,
Ti prego, dimmi che
for,
almeno un
actually?
po'
And they
gioco di...
took some pictures.
Sì, sì,
and they told
sì,
me,
guarda che
yeah, well, you know, because
c'è la
we are looking for
sparatoria.
a reference material for a notes of a
Hanno
psychopath
fatto vedere
killer.
all'inizio Dark. Peccato che te lo sei perso.
Yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Questa qui è la modalità
Pavel
storia
and
Night
Patrick,
City
thank you so
Wire.
much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm
Sì,
pretty
se no ci
excited
dovrebbe
for
essere
people
anche
to discover them.
il PvP,
But
appunto.
before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about.
Eh sì, esatto, è furbo lui, hai visto?
Media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their
Teme lo
impressions
spionaggio.
right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
Ecco ragazzi, questa è la modalità storia. Qui potete vedere le console, appunto c'è anche il PC per fortuna. E tanta roba ragazzi. Bel giocone veramente. Esatto, esatto. Poi soprattutto mi sembra molto ideale per chi ama Fallout anche. Come me, d'altronde. Fallout e GTA.
Everyone, welcome back.
Pure io,
Twitch
Samu.
Gaming, my name is Jesse Cox, your host for this post show. We have got a lot to talk about. Mostly because what time is it? 9:25? Can I say this yet? They said it. People have played the game. People have played the game. I've played the game. So I know a lot. I have a lot of answers for you. If you're saying to yourself, I have a lot of questions, hopefully and when Philip joins me, we can talk about those. Philip is the senior quest designer for Cyberpunk, and so we're going to get crazy with it. We have a bunch of things we want to talk about. As you can see, we have, Twitch polls, Twitch chat, if you're over there. I see you right now, just spamming away. But if you have questions or thoughts, by all means, I would love to hear what you think. And I will try my hardest to answer the questions that I can. Yeah. So, right away, what you saw there, the really quickly rundown of what's going on. At the top, we had the trailer, and in the trailer, you got to see some more of the different quests and things that you would go on. All of it's from the intro, y'all.
Ma ha fatto il routine in diretta.
You saw in that trailer
Ma non ci credo.
was from at least what I played the first 4 hours of the game. I was like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. I know what that is. So you have questions about that? I got answers for you. We learned about the Moxies and how they run, I don't want to say seedy underbelly, because it's definitely not.
Ciao, Jack.
They definitely have some sort of control over the city, but they're all former and or current sex workers who are running a bar that you have to go to at some point in the intro. And then we learned some more about kind of the brain dance and what you'll be doing with that. And I will say, one of the coolest parts of they didn't really see right there. There's
ragazzi, il posto di Luna Pop.
And you can sort of see the way the
Vediamo Samu.
I almost just want to let this run through.
No, ci sono i pestaggi. Ci sono ovviamente i bordelli. Ragazzi, Luna Pop sarà felicissimo. Anche Anterone, direi. La polizia, i cyborg. Cavolo, peccato che non c'è Luna Pop, ragazzi. Mi sarebbe piaciuto molto.
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Jobs to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife. Ka-ching, baby.
La bella vita.
We do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
He's lit, assholes! Is it gonna be dangerous?
Le peggio sparatorie, ragazzi. O sparatoie.
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City. Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Dex, what the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you?
Fuck.
Esatto, Dark. Segnatevi questa data, ragazzi.
So based on what I have played already of the game, just give you a really quick example. I don't know if we can go to like a specific point in that trailer, but there's one point where there's like a dude and it looks like you're on a basketball court and your character kind of pushes him. That is one of the many examples of how you interact with people in the city. So in that scenario, you play as a corpo, right? And so you are trying to land at the Moxie's bar, and you can't land on the street, so your hovercraft lands on a basketball court kind of above the bar, and you or the club, and so you land in the middle of a basketball game, and these guys come up to you like, "What are you doing?" And you have the option to engage with them or not. And depending on how you handle it, things happen, right? You could, be the corporate guy and not at all be like, I don't even deal with these people. Or you could just get in a fight. Like, there's so many amazing ways to handle stuff. It's It's actually really neat. Going back to the brain dance, right? The way the brain dance is set up in the game, it isn't just like, you know, you walk in a room and a thing happens.
Anche da me,
There's
Jack.
a whole storyline that leads into it, and the entire time it feels like I don't even know. I don't want to say it feels like you're in the Matrix, because that's not at all what it's. But it has that vibe. Like, it is so neat to go through the process of, you know, getting into the club, meeting your contact, and you do like this kind of flirtatious dance thing, and then she invites you downstairs, and you're like, I don't know what is about to happen right now, and you go down, and she leads you to go meet the character you saw during the brain dance segment.
Ah, ok, Jack,
and,
posso capire.
starts you on this journey of like figuring out what a brain dance is, and as you can see, this is just one part of the game. It's one part of the game where you can kind of go into people's memories and experience what they experienced and rewind, highlight certain parts. I imagine you'll be using it to uncover the mystery of this world, one that hopefully will lead us more to Johnny Silverhand and everything that he brings to it, and probably the mysterious MacGuffin, right? That stick that contains immortality, whatever that may be, however that works. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out, because that's, you know, that's going to be one of the big parts of the game. Okay, are there any other amazing comments? If you are
Ora sta commentando praticamente
us to discuss anything,
il
if you
filmato.
have any questions when we continue on, let me know. I will definitely say right now that I think it's safe to say that I and
tanta roba.
several other people you may know and love are in Cyberpunk. I can say that, right? I can. It's 9:32. I can say that, right? We're in the game, and not just our voices, literally us. Y'all have no clue. All right, Taco Tate 13. How long is the prologue? Is there any side quest during it?
Ah, ora fa rivedere tutto come prima, ragazzi.
Right off the gate. Just to give you a rundown of how I
sì,
played.
so.
In the demo,
Dark, grazie per il
we'll be able to join
follow.
the game
Benvenuto in
show.
Safari Games,
Great
anche te.
Question. I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to ask Philip. Questions for Phil.
Non c'è l'alert, ma però ho visto.
Join the gangs. Going back to the prologue. In Lux We Trust. I got you. I will get you an answer. Going back to the prologue. I'm not going to spoil anything. I will simply say that depending on who you choose, Corpo, a Nomad, or a Street Kid, you have like a different intro, right? So I chose a Corpo just because I want to see what it would be like, because I'll probably end up being a Nomad or a Street Kid. So I chose a Corpo, and you have an opening scenario where you can learn more about the corporate lifestyle, right? And then
Sto facendo una live su una live, però non dovrebbero esserci problemi, visto che è Twitch Gaming.
You and your friend Jackie have to make a big score. And during that process, while you're talking with Jackie, the map is open. Like, the minute you meet, like, Jackie's,
No, è lo stesso
you
momento
meet him at, like, a
comunque.
food stand, you have a conversation.
Solo che ci sto commentando
and from
sopra.
that point on, he's like, yo, get in the car. And the two of you can drive. And from that point on, go wherever you want. If you expand out to the whole map, there are little
La live di
quests.
una live.
It is straight up, you know how in Witcher,
Vabbè, si succede
when you get in that
comunque.
first zone, in Witcher 3, you go to the
Esatto,
first zone, and it's
faccio
like,
vedere.
all right, I can follow this little story thing, or
Visto?
I could spend
Twitch
12
Gaming.
hours running around doing whatever. It's like that. It's like that. I know if you're like me, you didn't actually get to the next area, the main story area, for a day or two, right? You took your time, and that is exactly what this game is. I'm told.
Sì, esatto.
Everyone, I'm being told that you will get the emote. You can spam all you want, but it's not going to help you. You're good. You're good. Trust me.
Che succede lì, ragazzi?
You will stand a chance to get the emote. It is fine, right? You don't got to get crazy with it. How would you describe the soundtrack? The soundtrack is a game that it is a lot. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's a lot. It's what you would
Compagno
expect from a
pirata.
game where you get in a car and have to drive around a bunch.
Sì, stasera faccio live,
There
non vi
are radio
preoccupate.
stations, and on those radio stations are a lot of music. The general music of the game is exactly what you would expect Cyberpunk to sound like, right? It has the synth wavy
Ma per me è un piacere,
noises you would
Jack.
expect from a Cyberpunk game. But if you jump in your car, you can switch radio stations and you can hear all sorts of music. Is it different genres?
Già,
Yes.
tutto
They're
quello
different genres.
scaricare è stato stancante.
I think the only genre I didn't hear was country, but who knows? Maybe there's future country in the game. I don't know. I don't know what future country songs would be like, but they could be there. I don't know.
Ha riso anche lui.
Is there any level of car customization?
Esatto, Sapphire.
I didn't customize my car at all, but I will ask that to Phil. Car customization? Great question. I'll ask it. I'll be sure to get on that and ask it.
Non posso dirlo, Jack.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions of importance that we should be definitely asking Philip Weber about when he comes to join us? Because I'm excited to ask questions too. I think that I'm going back to some of the other things I was talking about. If you have any other questions, hit me up. Yeah, because we gotta jump to this interview and we'll talk to Philip Weber about this. But if you have any other questions, by all means, ask them. I'm really excited. So, okay. Let's
Capito?
sit down and chat with Philip Weber, Senior Quest Designer, CD Projekt. Philip, are you there? Hello, from across the world.
Esatto, Sapphire.
Hey, how's
Eccolo
it going?
qui, Jess Cox.
Hello, I'm here.
Cox.
Oh, it's really nice to be here. Now I can see you.
Yeah, I can see you're in the coolest place on earth.
Philip Weber, ragazzi.
Yeah, you know.
Is that just the offices? Where is that?
Ciao,
Well, you know, if you're
Arbiter.
making a game like Cyberpunk, you have to get inspired, so we kind of try to make it nice for ourselves.
I can see that. I'm inspired. I wish I lived in a world like that. It's the coolest place I've ever seen. Okay. We have a lot of questions, a lot of things to talk about. I want to get these out of the way right now because chat had these questions going into this. When it comes to different gangs, will we be able to join those gangs?
So
baby,
it's a bit
baby.
complicated. So of course, you know, we're always about story and characters. So you'll be dealing with lots of people from these gangs. So as an example, people who watched our gameplay demo from 2 years ago, they might remember Royce or Dum Dum, people that are belonging to the gang called Maelstrom. And you'll be dealing a lot with them, but we didn't want to have it so, you know, they at some point just give you a paper that you sign and now you're a member of a gang. Because the thing is, you're playing as V, who's a mercenary in the city, and mercenaries value their independence. So you will be dealing with lots of gangs, but it's not that easy to just, you know, become specifically a member of one gang.
Sure. Can you go into, again, just talking about customization? I know one of the questions that we had from chat was car customization. Can you customize your car in any way? But just in general, can you go into customization? Because when I played it, one of the things I noticed from... I can talk about all the customization things now, right? It's like after 9:30 here on the West Coast. All right. Y'all, from the minute you get in the game, I spent 45 minutes customizing a character. I didn't have that much time. I wasted it customizing a character. There's so many options.
Customizer.
From the get-go, you can customize everything. And I mean everything. And you're probably saying to yourself,
Puoi
Jesse,
cambiare tutto.
everything? Everything can be customizable. Wink. So... there's like a ton
Puoi
to do there
personalizzare
up front.
tutto, mi sembra
And
che ha
then
detto
as you go
questo.
through the game, from weapons to clothing to augments for those weapons and clothing to hats, face masks, everything that you can
Tutto.
make about your V is customizable.
Tutto si può
How
personalizzare.
in-depth is that? Because there's a lot there, and I only scratched the surface.
Honestly, I would say it is really in-depth. Like, we're always saying, you know, Cyberpunk, we want to make a true, proper RPG of the future. And part of that is we want to give you as much freedom as possible. So, you know, you can create a character that looks exactly like you want him to look like. You can choose your body, you can choose your voice, you can choose details like piercings, scars, how your body looks like. So we want to offer a lot of stuff up front. But then the thing is, since we're making an RPG, we also want to offer a lot for fans of RPGs. So you, of course, at the start of the game, you'll be able to choose your base attributes that you can then build upon throughout the game. And I can go into a little bit of detail there when it comes to how deep it goes. So
Sure,
as an example,
I'm sure we'd love to hear. Yes.
All right. So as an example, you have your intelligence attribute, and that as an example would help you a lot with, let's say, net running. So if you want to play a really good hacker. So you can, of course, get that attribute, but then within that attribute, you have perks. And these perks have multiple trees where you can especially now specialize what kind of net runner you want to play. So these perks, as an example, might make you be able to take over cameras and do lots of different things. And I think we added so much choice there because we have this fluid class system where basically you're not supposed
Ciao,
to,
Nico.
or you're not, stuck to
ci
play
becchiamo
a single
dopo.
class. You can just choose the attributes, skills, perks, wherever you want. And on top of that, because of course, story is really important for us, these attributes can also be part of dialogues. So as an example, if you have a high intelligence attribute, sometimes there might be choices popping up in dialogues where maybe, you can now ask a question that would be more for a netrunner. And only you who has that intelligence attribute can ask that question. And then, of course, on top of that, you choose your life path, which, you can, as an example, be a nomad who starts the game outside of Night City and has to try and get into the city, or as a corpo, or as a street kid. And all of these change the beginning of the game, but then throughout the game, you now also get your choices in dialogues for your specific life path. So you can even, role play your character even deeper. And then to come back to vehicles, we do at the moment not plan right now the kind of customization, you would expect from, let's say, Need for Speed Underground, where you choose specifically the tires of your car. But it is important for us that, of course,
stanno dicendo che puoi
freedom
personalizzare l'auto come Need for Speed.
So of course, if you have a really high body attribute,
Per noi,
really
okay.
strong, you can rip open doors from driving cars, steal them, or if you have a lot of engineering skill, you can steal cars that might be locked. But those
serviranno
don't
le
belong to you.
skills di
But of course,
ingegnere,
you
a
can
quanto
own
pare.
your own vehicles, and you can own different vehicles. You can buy them, or of course, maybe sometimes in the story, in quests, you might get different kind of cars as your reward.
Go to the cars for a minute. There is, at least what I noticed, you can steal a car that's like a parked car. That you can do that. But if you're trying to steal a car from like a person driving, is there like a secret dice roll or something behind the scenes? Because sometimes it's like, nah, dude, you can't steal from this guy. He's like, I'm locking the doors. No. Do you have a chance of completely failing that?
Yeah, because it basically depends on your RPG skills. So as an example, the better the lock of the car, of course, it has a higher, let's say, body attribute you need. And body can, as an example, mean
Ingegnere,
how strong
sì,
you are.
mi sembra.
And if you're a really strong, leveled up character, you can just rip open that door. But if you're weak, that lock will hold, so you can't get in.
Cool. And we had some other questions. Just get to some of these. Are there pets in the game? Can I have a pet when I play this?
So at the moment, we're not planning to have pets, because the thing is, this actually has a big story reason. So not without revealing too much, animals are actually quite rare in the world of Cyberpunk. So there's actually a few dialogues where you talk about, birds were the first ones to go. So this is actually part of the story that only, let's say, the rich, like the super rich in Night City, can even afford to have pets, and they're like a pretty expensive commodity.
Cool. Does it have photo mode? I think you've already mentioned this before in previous things, but I'll ask again, does it have photo mode?
Yes, absolutely. Cyberpunk has a photo mode. Because of course, we're saying with our customization and with the way that you can customize your character, with the way that you can use gear, because of course, you can get cool t-shirts, jacket, sunglasses, whatever, you can make your character look the way you want. We kind of also want you to be able to show off your character. So that's why a really robust and cool photo mode was really
E io una telefonatina l'avrei fatta già al posto tuo.
Vehicles or vehicles that are not specifically cars on the ground?
So there are vehicles like that in the
Samu,
game. They're called AVs. And again, they're actually only for the super upper echelon of people in Night City. So you, as a mercenary, you will not be able to fly them yourself. But, it might be possible that as part of stories, you might be riding sometimes in some of those AVs.
Cool. Yeah, the next question is how vertical is the game? Like, how much verticality is there when we see these tall buildings? Having played it, I don't know the extent, and so I'm going to rely on you for this, but having played through it, that was one of my first questions, too. I kept seeing all the tall buildings. I kept seeing, like, all these examples of massive skyscrapers in trailers and in previous footage, and was like, all right, but is it just a thing that's there, right? Is it just background stuff? So I spent a lot of time walking around inside
allora forse
buildings,
tuo amico
and
non
I
aveva
would simply
abbastanza
say,
crediti.
it appears from what I saw that you can walk in every single one of them to a limit, because sometimes they're like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed in. But yeah, I have to ask you, can you just go to the top floor of every single one of these?
Well, the thing for us, it's, you know, when we actually make a game, we always want to give you something worthwhile to do. So we're basically saying, if we have a really good idea for, as an example, a quest or some other activity that could take place in this building, then we're going to open up that building. And as an example, you know, V's mega building, where V's apartment takes place.
Speriamo che manterranno le promesse,
You're actually
insomma.
up really high. You have a really nice view from your apartment. But we don't want to open up just every single building in Night City, because then you'd just, you know, enter a million apartments with nothing to do, and you just get confused. Because for us, it's more important to really, you know, if we actually lead you somewhere, there should actually be something really interesting to find. But, you know, suffice to say, there's still lots and lots of buildings and interiors that you can get into, and, of course, also really high ones.
Quale che non puoi avere l'animale
And
domestico?
much like The Witcher, for example, the maps had, as you can see on the screen right now,
ragazzi, la città.
The worst sections.
Dunque, non è un Fallout, ma è un GTA questo,
On the map,
praticamente.
when you like scroll out on the map, you can see exclamation points and question marks, very similar to Wild Hunt, and you can travel around and just discover things. And from what I found, it seems like all of them have purpose in expanding upon the world. They aren't just like, you found a random guy who's going to give you like an item, right? They all add to the story in some way, and I thought that was fascinating. And so designing these quests and going through, what was the goal in making all of these, because there's a lot, and it didn't seem to me like any of them were fluff. So like how did you sit down to try and go through all this stuff and come up with a way to tell this story through all those different quests that are there?
So as an example, you know, as a quest designer, I can talk about how we filled the world with these, you know, smaller side quests that maybe sometimes you'd only take 5 or 10 minutes. And when we were actually designing those, our lead quest designer and our quest director were actually giving us also a list of, as an example, interesting topics that maybe don't come up that much in the main storyline.
Okay.
So let's say, you know, religion and cyberware.
Sicuramente
how do religions that we have right now interact with, you know, the knowledge that sometimes suddenly people can maybe almost be immortal. And this, as an example, could be an interesting topic for a side quest. And then we do it organically from there. Because I think one thing that maybe makes our, you know, quest also interesting is that we don't have these strict rules. This is what a quest needs to be. This is where it has to be. It has to have 1.5 combat encounters. We actually try to make it really natural, to really say, okay, is this a story worth telling? Is this something interesting? You know, does this say something about the world or about the characters? And if all of that is yes, and of course then if it's also fun to play, then this is a quest we want to do. And I think this is kind of how we approach all the content in Night City. So essentially everything you do should kind of tell you a little bit about the city.
Sure. There is a question right now, can we customize the voice? I will simply say from the bit that I got to play, you can
Potete cambiare la voce.
either the feminine voice or the masculine voice. There were the two voice actors. And then it doesn't matter what V looks like. You
Potete fare le maschere che cambiano voci, ragazzi.
At least that's what I got. Maybe you can go a little more in depth on that, but that's what I saw.
Yeah, exactly, as you said, because, you know, we
Tipo
said
quella
we
di
want
Ant-Man.
for you to have the freedom to create the character you want to create, and that basically includes that you can choose the body you want to have, and then you can also choose the voice you want to have for that body, just so you can basically have the experience of playing
La voce che volete
the character,
potrete
exactly
fare.
the V that you want to play as.
Sure. Another question. Does the character origin choice, Street Kid, etc., have an actual big impact? When I played as a Corpo, just to see what the Corpo life was like, the intro scenario, like I described earlier, you land on a basketball court and you sort of go in through the roof into the club, and that's where your scene starts. later on, when you go back to that club and you have to go through the main entrance, you can use your corpo attitude.
No, ho dovuto chiuderlo, Samu.
Like, I've been here before. I know how this works, and you don't have to deal with the Moxies. And you're like, nah, I'm right. So
Se no, la live
you can use that
laggava.
swagger that you have as a corpo player, and you will get dialogue options. It will change events over the course of the game. So I imagine for those who played, a Nomad or a Street Kid, they would have similar different choices and added scenarios, and things would change based on who they were and their objectives. But yeah, if I screwed anything up, let me know.
No, it's exactly as you said. So as an example, the game starts in a completely different place. You're a completely different character. So without spoiling too much, because I don't want to take away from the experience, as a Nomad, you don't start in Night City. You start outside of Night City, outside of the borders, because Night City is actually in the future an independent city-state. So you actually first have to get through the border into Night City, and this is how you start the game. And as an example, as a Street Kid, you're already, you're known in the city. You start in Haywood. You start in a bar. And talking about bars, Banan, could you help me out a second? And basically, it was really important for us, while Banan...
Has he been back there this entire time?
Il barista.
Of course. We've been working on that joke.
All right, yeah.
Ecco, è tornato nell'oblio, ragazzi.
Where was I? So basically, it was really important for us to not just say, okay, this changes the beginning of the game. We really wanted to say, this is important for the rest of the game. So from the start to the end, you will have these choices. So as an example, we also tried to keep it natural. So if there will be a quest where you work more closely with, let's say, the higher echelon of Night City, so you might attend a board meeting. Of course, then someone who has a corporate background might have some additional choices there.
Un peccato.
Or if I have to work with one of the Nomad clans in the Badlands outside of Night City, then someone who comes from a Nomad background, understands their traditions, understands what it's about, and then of course has different choices. And
Ma anche un animaletto robotico non sarebbe stato male.
Sometimes it's just a nice thing you can say. But other times, it can actually have consequences, and it can influence how the quest and how the story progresses. So, we always want to give you something new and something, unexpected.
Cool. So, one more
Ci sono altre domande.
Can you steal gears and stuff from inside shops and use them? What I experience is that the shop system and buying and selling seem very Wild Huntish. In that there were the two sides of the screen, and you could sell and see what they had, and you could see how much money they had to spend on things.
Tipo SOT.
When you scan the world, there's things you can pick up and steal. But I'll leave this question to you because you definitely know. Is there anything that you can sort of like steal from a shop?
Sì, parlano.
Borrow from one of the various hackers out there.
Qui c'è lo scanner a quanto pare.
Well, since this is the world of Cyberpunk, you can imagine that would be a really, really bad idea. So if you remember our initial gameplay trailer, I guess there was someone trying to steal stuff and he was just shot dead. So we actually we didn't want to give you that option for now. And we really wanted to make shops something really convenient for you, where you can just buy and sell your gear. Because the thing is, if you would now suddenly kill every shop owner while stealing, then there's no shop owners left. So, we try to keep this as convenient as possible for you. And, part of that is, of course,
ecco, comunque questo è il sistema di sparatutto, praticamente. Avete visto il lancio della granata? Vedete la zona di impatto.
So we just try to make the shops, really useful for you.
Sure. Is there player housing? Is another question, and yes.
I mean, I can say V has an apartment, but right now at the moment
iniziate con un appartamento, vi dice.
Different apartments. Because, Cyberpunk's a very story-focused adventure.
Le lame elettriche.
Just buying now new apartments and buying like a villa with a pool. As an example, for the story we're telling at the moment, didn't really fit that. But,
ma è principalmente su questo oggi, su Cyberpunk 2077.
Never do it. But for the moment, I think you'll have to live with the apartment that V has. But once you see the apartment, I think you'll be happy to see that it's a pretty cool place.
E potrete avere una casa anche qui, come in GTA.
There are 7 districts, one of them being the Badlands, but like compared to Los Santos or
ecco una domanda alla GTA qua.
We have experience with on massive city scales. How big is Night City?
I think we don't have an exact comparison because we never put someone in to measure the square meters. But it is a big city. So, as an example, when you see our trailers, when you see our gameplay, all the buildings you see at the horizon, they're not background. That's all part of the city, part of the map. And then, of course, Night City still has surrounding area.
È una città grande, insomma.
So it is a really, really big place. But, also what was important for us is to actually make it a meaningful place. So everywhere you go, actually, it's something interesting. You don't just, run around for 5 minutes with just finding the same buildings. Our art team actually did a really, really amazing job planning the city.
Esatto,
And as an example,
Jack.
to compare it to The Witcher Wild Hunt, where you had, as an example, the landscape of Velen, you had Novigrad, Skellige, these different countrysides. This is also kind of how we wanted to have our city districts appear. So they are very distinct. You can really feel like if I'm in Japantown, I know I'm in Japantown. If I'm in North Oaks, where, let's say the rich people of Night City live, where they have their villas and where it's green and there's palm trees, it's really a very different feeling from being in Watson, where, there's, let's say, Maelstrom gang shooting up some joint at the side of the road. So it was really, really important for us to have this big city, this really big place to explore. That's, of course, also why you have cars. But everywhere you go, it's really thought through. And I'm still amazed by our art team. Like a while ago, one evening when I was just, getting ready to stop work, I was just starting the game and I walked through Kabuki, which used to be a Japanese part of the city, but actually a lot of Chinese inhabitants moved in. So you can actually see these different cultures actually shape
Certo, Jack, lo
this part
farò
of the town.
assolutamente.
And I just walked through and it was raining and I saw, the neon lights and there were people on the side talking to me. And I spent 40 minutes just walking, let's say, in like this 2% of the whole city. So I actually think people will be able to explore a lot in our game.
Sì.
Yeah, you realize how big
Penso
the
che
city
sia
is when you
possibile
get out
appunto
of the
cambiare
car and
gli
just walk
attributi.
through it.
Ciao
Because
Luna!
there's so much to see and so many
Carino,
alleys
molto
and so many,
promettente. Speriamo che mantengano le promesse.
breathing people walking around,
Vuoi unirti anche te?
going about their lives. It's wild. When it comes to attributes, we have another question. Can you reset
Esatto,
them?
Jack ha
Or can you
Jack ha
use
riassunto
skills so we can
tutto.
try different styles of play?
Molto
Yes, of
promettente.
course. This is, of course, part again of why we want to give you that much freedom. And of course, this freedom is that you can't, you can always reskill your character. Because, as I said before, we want to give you that fluid
ok,
class
d'accordo,
system
Luna.
that actually gives you this power of experimentation. So as an example, if you want to play someone who's more like a cyber ninja, if you're really good with melee fights, if you want to use katanas, if you want to have a double jump or, dash in the air, you can do that. But maybe sometimes I would actually now prefer to just try out a little bit more hacking. And then we don't want
Non è
you to have to start a
Frostpunk,
new
Samu,
game.
è
So you can actually
Cyberpunk
do that.
2077.
Yeah, it's neat to go through and try the different things. I learned that I really enjoy hacking cameras, hacking people, and then watching them blow themselves
sì.
up. It's truly a joy to not do anything and watch chaos happen. Someone in chat was asking,
Posso
while you're going around
immaginare.
the city, can you just get in general trouble? Yeah, you can do all sorts of things that will get you in trouble. We have another question. What's the money system, the economy like? Can you talk more about eddies and how that all works?
Yeah, so basically, in the future of Cyberpunk 2077, there's a new kind of currency, which is the euro dollar, and you're mostly paying with that. In the past, let's say, without going super deep into world building, there have been many issues with, the economy collapsing. So actually, an interesting thing is that in Cyberpunk, people use cash a lot. So if you actually play the game, you'll see lots of cash
Prima l'hanno
going
fatto
around.
vedere
Of course,
Luna.
People, for convenience, they can also pay with other means. So sometimes, as an example, if you do a
Il
quest
fatto
for
è che poi non
someone,
capisco
they'll
molto
pay
bene
you
in inglese,
directly
dunque
without having to do anything. You'll just see their eyes glow in blue, and suddenly you have a money transfer. So you do have these different systems, but people in the future of 2077 are very careful with how they use their money. So cash is still a very important factor.
Il Philip lo parla bene in inglese, si capisce un po' di più, ma quello di Jess Cox veramente parla velocissimo.
Yeah, I actually have a really nice anecdote about that. That at the beginning, in this corporate prologue, you get a load of cash, and the quest designer responsible
Samu.
for it just decided,
Mi fa
okay, it'll be
piacere essere qui.
$5,000. But actually, someone from QA checked how much money is on these.
Parlano.
Actually, this would be way more than $5,000. So then, together with the quest designer, they went ahead and did the math. They said, okay, how thick is this money?
Sì,
and they
ma
actually
a quanto
checked,
pare ci
okay,
saranno
how
degli
much
easter
money
egg.
would that have
Non so
to
se
be?
è giusto
And I think then
quello
it
che ho
was like
detto, ma
48,000 euro dollars. So, you can see, detail is very important for us.
Yes. Speaking of details, last question. Collaboration
Ultima domanda,
games or
attenzione.
Easter eggs within this. Will we find anything? Will we see a time traveling Siri flying around? Like what do you got for us?
Well, anything I would say now would basically be spoiling the experience. And I think the nice thing about Easter eggs is that you find them yourself. But we did hide some nice things in there, some nice things you can find. As an example, you said earlier that you're in the game, and we took.
Poi
We
dopo
went
ci
to very
saranno
big
altre
lengths
domande,
to,
vedrete,
really
era un tranello,
make your body.
in realtà.
So the quest is, about a very specific body part of yours. It's a very
Yeah.
interesting
it
story, a very moving story.
It's a joke,
So,
I have another question.
Night City is a very, dark and gritty place, and it's important for us to show that. But the thing is, humor is still a part of this world, because, if no one's ever having fun, then, what is it about? So, we want to have a really realistic place,
Come
and
se la
sometimes,
ride.
people can also be funny, so we also want to have some more funny things on the side as well.
Yeah, if you see a guy who looks like me in the game, please help him. Please help him out.
Yes.
Come ride, se la ride.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us and sitting down to talk with us about Cyberpunk 2077. I think we're all really looking forward to it, and this was great. This was a great deep dive into The Wire. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Thanks
Ecco,
for the great
ragazzi.
questions, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, chat. That is it for us. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out and deep diving into the world of Cyberpunk 2077 with us. Thank you to Twitch Gaming for hosting this.
Non l'ho capito
This
neanch'io
was great.
quello.
You were all great. Remember, you stand a chance. If
Ride
you are
perché prendi
co-streaming this
soldi
or you're in chat right now,
dalle
getting a
visual.
Johnny Silverhand emote. So please keep doing what you're doing. I'd love to see all of you in chat right now. That's it. Thank you to everyone for being a part of this, and we will see you all in the future. Bye, everybody!
Ciao! Allora ragazzi, come vi è sembrato il gioco? Personalmente l'ho trovato... Ah, ecco, ci sarà l'evento di Borderland tra un'oretta? No, mi sembra che tra 58 minuti chiudo la live. Luna, ci sei ancora? Vabbè, come vi è sembrato comunque l'evento, ragazzi? Il gioco mi è sembrato molto libero, molto promettente. E a quanto pare tra poco si parlerà di Borderland, tra un'oretta. Sì, vediamo un po' come organizzarci. E mi sa che Luna Pop è occupato adesso. Ah. Sì, mi spiace Luna, ma invece per Borderland c'è qualcuno che streama dopo. Come il DF. Ti passo io il link, guarda. Twitch Gaming, di cercare Twitch Gaming. Ah, ok. Ma appunto c'è qualcuno dopo che streama Borderland o volete che continuo io? Anzi, sì, continuerei molto volentieri, ragazzi. Mi farebbe piacere, anzi, mi farebbe piacere poter invitare anche Jack, ma non... Visto che lui è molto appassionato di Borderland, non so, però devo chiedere permesso chiaramente a Nico, perché il canale è suo. E di sa fare anche, o anche Luna. Grazie Luna. Ma appunto, vuoi che dopo streamo anche Borderland? No, dico come ospite, visto che chiaramente non decido io, però visto che... Ah, d'accordo, non vuoi, d'accordo, non c'è nessun problema. Comunque oggi veramente ho fatto una papera assurda, ragazzi. Ho scambiato Cyberpunk per Frostpunk. Che figure. Eh sì, appunto. Però siccome Jack non vuole, ci sarò io se volete. Allora, la live qui non capisco perché dice che è alle 11. E inizia alle 8 la live a quanto pare, ragazzi. Luna, se vuoi dopo appunto... Di niente, volentieri. Va bene ragazzi, io allora adesso chiudo qui, ci vediamo dopo per la seconda live. Che ne dite? D'accordo. A dopo, intanto facciamo un raid. E mi sa dunque che stasera streamo solo su Safari, ma non c'è nessun problema, lo faccio con piacere io. Chi possiamo raidare, ragazzi? Certo, Jack, ma veramente farebbe molto piacere se ci sei. Sì, esatto. Volete che faccia un raid a loro? Shadow Grease. Ma chi è? Andiamo a vedere un po' chi è. Sette spettatori. Shadow... Ma hai scritto Grace o... Ma com'è che è il suo canale? Hai scritto bene. The Last of Us 2, giusto? Allora è Shadow Grace, non Grece. Va bene, andiamola a raidare allora, dai. Shadow Grace, non Grece. Facciamo subito il raid. Eccolo qui. Vai col raid. Allora, ci vediamo dopo, ragazzi, per Borderland. Ciao!